Hello, brothers, and welcome to Sigma Old Man Channel. The moment you feel the need to prove yourself to someone is the moment you've already lost. This isn't just a quote, it's a philosophy Sigma males live by like it's written in their DNA. Studies show that nearly 85% of people subconsciously seek validation in their daily lives, be it through social media likes, workplace recognition, or impressing that one person who barely notices them. But Sigma males? They're the outliers. The rare breed who couldn't care less about clapping crowds or gold stars. Why? Because for them, proving something to others is a trap, a performance in a play they never auditioned for. It's like showing off your prized antique to someone who can't tell the difference between a masterpiece and a knockoff. They'd rather focus on living authentically and let the world draw its own conclusions. After all, why chase applause when you can command silent respect? Number one, they find the idea of proving laughably insecure. To a Sigma male, the need to constantly prove yourself to others isn't just unnecessary, it's downright embarrassing. They see it as an exhausting display of insecurity, a desperate cry for validation that reeks of trying too hard. When someone goes out of their way to prove how capable, successful, or intelligent they are, Sigma males see straight through it. It's like watching someone flex for an audience that barely cares, and frankly, they find the whole charade absurd. Here's the thing about Sigmas. Their self-worth doesn't hinge on applause or approval. They're not interested in playing the game of look at me, I'm worthy, because they already know they are. To them, trying to prove something to others means you're handing over the keys to your self-esteem, letting someone else decide if you're good enough. That kind of dependency, it's a weakness they refuse to entertain. Instead of chasing acknowledgement, Sigma males focus on what actually matters to them: results, growth, and authenticity. They believe the loudest person in the room is usually the one with the most to hide, so they keep their wins quiet and let their actions speak louder than words ever could. For them, true confidence isn't about being recognized, it's about being unshakably secure in who you are, even when no one's watching. Proving yourself to them feels like a public circus act, and they want no part of it. They'd rather walk away from the stage altogether, knowing their worth isn't up for debate. While others bend over backward to impress, Sigma males lean back, uninterested, with an unspoken message. You can think whatever you want. I don't need to prove a thing. And that silent assurance? It's more commanding than any words could ever be. Number two, proving yourself feels like a distraction. To Sigma males, proving yourself to others is nothing more than a shiny distraction designed to pull you away from what truly matters. They see it as a trap, an endless cycle of trying to meet other people's expectations while neglecting their own goals and values. For them, life is about focus, and every ounce of their energy is a resource that must be used wisely. Wasting it on pointless performances to gain someone else's approval, that's not just inefficient, it's outright foolish. Sigma males operate with laser-sharp priorities. They know exactly what they're working toward and have no interest in detours that don't serve their purpose. Trying to impress others feels like jumping through flaming hoops, but instead of applause, the reward is just more hoops. They see it as an exhausting game with no finish line, designed to keep you running in circles while the things that truly matter slip through your fingers. For Sigmas, every moment spent trying to prove themselves is a moment stolen from their passions, goals, or personal growth. They'd rather channel that energy into something that adds real value to their lives, whether it's mastering a skill, building something meaningful, or simply enjoying their own company. They believe actions should speak for themselves, and if someone doesn't recognize their worth through what they naturally bring to the table, that's not their problem to solve. The irony is, while most people waste time putting on a show, Sigma males quietly achieve what others only dream about. Their focus is their superpower, and they protect it fiercely. For them, proving yourself isn't just a distraction. It's a trap they've learned to avoid. Let others chase applause. Sigmas are too busy creating lives worth living. Number three, they believe those who matter will already understand. Sigma males operate with a quiet but unshakable belief. Those who truly matter, the ones who genuinely understand their depth, principles, and intentions, don't need explanations, performances, or elaborate displays of worth. To them, it's simple. Real connections don't require convincing. If someone truly gets who they are, it's effortless, organic, and mutually understood without the need for overcompensation. The rest? They're just background noise, and Sigmas don't lose sleep over them. This mindset is why they don't waste energy trying to fit into someone else's version of worthy. They've learned that bending over backward to make others see their value is a fool's errand because people will only see what they're capable of seeing. A shallow mind can't comprehend depth, and Sigmas have no intention of trying to force-feed it. They understand that no amount of proving will change the perception of someone who isn't meant to be in their world. For a Sigma, this isn't arrogance, it's clarity. They don't need the world to cheer for them or approve of their choices. Their circle, though small, is made up of people who truly see them, and that's all they care about. Everyone else can think whatever they want. It's irrelevant. By trusting this process, Sigma males avoid unnecessary drama and emotional exhaustion. They let go of the need to perform for people who wouldn't appreciate them anyway. In the end, they know the ones who resonate with their energy will naturally gravitate toward them. No chasing, no proving, no exhausting explanations, just authenticity for the rest of the world. They offer a silent, unapologetic shrug. They weren't looking for approval in the first place. Number 4, they refuse to let others dictate their value. Sigma males draw a hard line when it comes to their value. No one, and absolutely no one, gets to define it except for them. They've rejected the idea that self-worth should be tied to how others perceive them. To them, external validation is like junk food. It might give a temporary high, but it's hollow and leaves you hungry for more. Instead, they build their confidence on the foundation of their own standards, beliefs, and achievements, none of which require applause to be real. They see competing for approval as a fool's errand, a treadmill that never stops no matter how fast you run. Why would they waste their energy proving themselves in a game they didn't even agree to play? Sigma males know that the people who live for validation are the same ones who become prisoners to it, constantly chasing compliments, recognition, or status symbols to feel good about themselves. That's not the Sigma way. Instead of performing for others, they're grounded in a deep sense of inner worth. They've developed the self-awareness to understand what truly matters to them, and anything outside of that is just noise. If someone doesn't see their value, that's not a crisis. It's a reflection of that person's inability to recognize what's in front of them. Sigma males won't lose sleep over it. This refusal to let others dictate their worth isn't arrogance, it's freedom. It liberates them from societal expectations, trends, and shallow approval. They're not here to impress. They're here to live authentically, and that's something no one else can dictate. If the world doesn't like it, that's fine. They never needed the applause anyway. Number 5, validation is an emotional leash, and they won't wear it. To Sigma males, external validation is nothing but an emotional leash, a way for people to willingly hand over their freedom to the expectations of others. They see it as a subtle form of control where the need for approval keeps you tied to a life that's not even your own. To them, relying on someone else's opinion to feel worthy is like letting a stranger hold the reins to your happiness. It's not just dangerous, it's downright humiliating. This is why Sigma males refuse to wear that leash. They'll cut it loose before anyone even has the chance to fasten it. They understand that chasing validation is a game designed to keep you small, constantly worrying about what others think, bending over backward to meet their standards and losing yourself in the process. Sigma males want no part of that circus. The only approval that matters to them is their own, and that's non-negotiable. They don't care about applause, compliments, or being put on a pedestal. Those things are fleeting, and depending on them feels like building a house on quicksand. Sigma males would rather build their foundation on self-respect, something that doesn't waver based on other people's moods or opinions. Their confidence comes from within, and because of that, it's untouchable. When people try to tether them to expectations or force them into seeking validation, Sigma males don't react. They simply walk away. They'd rather be misunderstood or underestimated than enslaved by the need to please others. For them, freedom is everything, and they'll protect it at all costs, even if it means being labeled as aloof or arrogant. It's not arrogance, it's independence, and they wouldn't trade it for the world. Number 6, they don't see life as a competition, but as a canvas. Sigma males don't buy into the idea that life is some giant competition where the loudest or flashiest wins. They find the whole concept exhausting and frankly a little sad. To them, life isn't a race to prove who's better, richer or more impressive. It's a blank canvas, and the only thing that matters is what you choose to create on it. Their focus isn't on outshining others, but on building something uniquely their own, something that reflects their values, passions, and individuality. While everyone else is scrambling for trophies, likes, or fleeting recognition, Sigmas are quietly in their own zone, pouring their energy into meaningful pursuits. Competing for attention feels like fighting for a spotlight in a room where the bulbs are constantly flickering. It's unreliable, temporary, and ultimately meaningless. Sigmas would rather step out of the room entirely and light up their own space, creating something so authentic that it doesn't need validation to hold value. For them, life is about personal growth and self-expression, not about keeping score. They aren't measuring their worth against others because they don't see anyone else as competition. Their only competitor is themselves, the person they were yesterday. This mindset frees them from the pressure to conform, outperform, or seek approval. They'd rather spend their time creating a masterpiece that reflects who they are than waste it trying to beat someone else in a race they never signed up for. In the end, while others are busy comparing and competing, Sigmas quietly create lives so unique and fulfilling that they stand out without even trying. They don't chase the spotlight. They build something so extraordinary that the world can't help but notice, even if that's never their intention. Number 7, proving themselves is a sign of needing the spotlight. To Sigma males, the need to prove yourself screams one thing: you crave the spotlight. And to them, that's a weakness disguised as confidence. The louder someone boasts about their abilities, the more it feels like they're compensating for something they don't actually have. Sigma males reject this entirely. They believe real strength doesn't need an audience and mastery doesn't come with a megaphone. Instead, they prefer to operate in silence, pouring their energy into refining their craft, building their vision, and achieving results without the need for fanfare. In their eyes, loud declarations are cheap. They don't require effort, just volume. But quiet mastery, that's where the real power lies. It's about putting in the work when no one's watching, pushing yourself not for applause, but for the satisfaction of knowing you've earned it. Sigma males trust that when you're truly great at something, people will notice on their own, no theatrics required. They'd rather let their results speak, delivering their message louder than words ever could. This silent approach isn't just about humility, it's about efficiency. Wasting time on self-promotion feels counterproductive when that same energy could be spent leveling up. Sigma males would rather perfect their work behind the scenes than chase validation in public. The spotlight to them feels like a distraction, a place where people talk big but achieve little. In the end, their quiet confidence is what sets them apart. They're not interested in proving themselves to anyone because they know who they are and what they bring to the table. And while others are busy shouting for attention, Sigma males are quietly building legacies that speak for themselves long after the noise has faded. Number 8, they despise ego-driven theatrics. Sigma males have no patience for ego-driven theatrics. To them, the need to constantly prove yourself screams insecurity, not confidence. It's a loud, over-the-top performance that they find not only unproductive but downright cringeworthy. They view ego as a trap, a false sense of self that demands endless validation, thrives on superficial wins, and distracts from what really matters. And in their world, life is far too short to waste on such trivial pursuits. Sigmas see right through the facade of ego. They know it's a mask people wear to cover their insecurities, a desperate attempt to appear stronger, smarter, or more capable than they actually feel. But for Sigmas, self-worth doesn't come from external applause or flashy achievements. It comes from within, a quiet, unshakable belief in who they are and what they're capable of. They don't need to shout about it or seek approval because their value isn't up for debate. For them, ego-driven behavior is not only embarrassing but also exhausting to watch. Whether it's someone bragging about their accomplishments or trying to outshine others, Sigmas see it as a waste of energy that could be spent on something meaningful. They're far more interested in substance than show, and ego rarely delivers anything of lasting value. Their disdain for theatrics is rooted in their practicality. Sigmas operate on a cut-the-nonsense philosophy, And ego is just unnecessary noise. They don't have time for games, performances, or shallow displays of dominance. Instead, they channel their focus into genuine growth, mastery, and purpose, things that don't require an audience. By rejecting ego, they free themselves to live authentically, unbothered by the trivial need to impress others. Number 9, they thrive on self-assurance, not applause. Sigma males don't need the world to tell them they're great. Their confidence doesn't come from praise or applause. It's rooted in something far deeper. It comes from the quiet satisfaction of knowing they've stayed true to themselves, no matter who notices or approves. They don't need external validation because their worth is defined by their own standards, not someone else's. This self-assurance is a direct reflection of their authenticity. They know who they are, what they stand for, and what they're capable of. No amount of praise or criticism can change that. While others may rely on compliments to boost their confidence, Sigma males don't waste their energy seeking approval. Their confidence comes from within, from the consistency of their actions and the certainty that they've followed their own path, regardless of what the crowd thinks. It's not about being the loudest or the most recognized. It's about being solid in their own skin, unaffected by the judgments or opinions of others. For Sigmas, true confidence is the ability to stand firm in who they are, even when no one is watching. They don't need to be told they're great because they already know they are. They've proven it to themselves through their actions, decisions, and commitment to their values. When your self-assurance is rooted in authenticity, nothing can shake it. They don't live for approval, but for the quiet peace of knowing they've done things their way without compromise. That's where their true power lies. Number 10. They consider proving themselves a weakness. For Sigma males, the very idea of proving themselves is a sign of weakness. To them, if you feel the need to justify your existence or constantly validate your worth, it shows a deep insecurity, one that they refuse to entertain. Their identity is rock solid. They've spent time cultivating a clear sense of who they are, and it's not something that requires defending or explaining. Sigma males know exactly what they bring to the table, and anyone who can't see it doesn't deserve an explanation. Proving yourself is an exhausting game, one that keeps you tethered to the opinions and approval of others. Sigma males don't play by those rules. They don't feel the need to wear their achievements like badges of honor or put on a show to earn respect. If you don't recognize their value, that's your problem, not theirs. Their confidence is built from within, and that means they don't have to sell their worth to anyone. They know that when you're secure in who you are, there's no need for validation or constant reassurances. It's not arrogance. It's the freedom that comes from being utterly comfortable with yourself. A Sigma male would rather stay silent than jump through hoops to prove anything. To them, those who need to prove themselves are simply showing their lack of self-belief. And that's a weakness they have no interest in entertaining. At the end of the day, Sigma males don't need to prove anything to anyone because their worth is already ingrained within them. Their quiet confidence, built on authenticity, inner strength, and a deep understanding of who they are, speaks volumes without ever needing to be shouted. They've mastered the art of walking their own path, unaffected by the noise and distractions of those around them. While the world chases applause, recognition, and approval, Sigma males are quietly crafting their own reality, completely comfortable in their skin and unwavering in their sense of self. They don't need the spotlight, and they certainly don't need to prove their worth to anyone. For Sigma males, their journey is their own, and that's enough. The true power lies not in the validation of others, but in the absolute conviction that they are enough, exactly as they are. This unshakable belief is their greatest strength and the key to living life on their terms. And in a world obsessed with validation and comparison, that kind of freedom is nothing short of extraordinary. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the mind of Sigma males, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on more thought-provoking content. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if it resonated with you, and drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Share this with anyone who needs a little more insight into what makes Sigma males tick. Let's keep the conversation going, and remember, being true to yourself is the ultimate power. See you in the next one. Bye for now, and see you in the next video.